می نوش که عمر جاودانی این است، خود حاصلت از دور جوانی این است. هنگام گل و باده و یاران سرمست، خوش باش دمی که زندگانی این است، خوش باش دمی که زندگانی این است.
Just finished about 7-8 days in Tuscany. I've lost count. It's been a blur, but I still remember a lot of things. I've learned a lot about art. I've learned a lot about food. I've learned a lot more about wine than I used to know, and that's been really interesting for me personally. Outside of that, I can tell you that Tuscan, the sun doesn't end and it's fantastic. 8 days was not enough. I need to come back. I'm probably sticking around to do more things, but there is enough to keep anybody interested here. And it can be good for a young person, can be good for an old person. It depends how much interest you have in art. I enjoyed a lot learning about the different museums, and trust me, you need a guide. Without a guide, you're only looking at a painting or a wall. With a guide, you understand how we today came to be what we are. So I read this today somewhere that, you know, come here and discover who you are. So I think it would be a good thing to do, to come to Tuscany to discover who you are.
What I have gathered is that, you know, Tuscany is not just about its food and wine. It's a whole new learning curve. I mean, it's something which has got into my system and will stay with me for the rest of my life. I mean, food and wine are just two small elements in the vast canvas which is Tuscany.
Tuscany is a one place in the earth which can be compared to a kind of a haven for tourists, for people who really like life, people who really like peace.
This trip was quite an eye-opener because tourists from India, including people like me who have even backpacked here before, tend to stay in the, restrict themselves to the larger cities. And here we had an opportunity to visit places like Volterra, which are totally off our radar. And I think there is enormous potential for attracting a certain kind of Indian tourist to smaller places like that.
The landscape is brilliant, and from a photographer's point of view, there's this light and shade that happens on the hills where there's sun and then there's a patch of shadow and then there's sun, and it's beautiful to actually capture that kind of greenery with the blue sky and the backdrop. And
be happy, for this is life. This is Toscana. Arrivederci.